You're looking at a live AI SaaS product right now with a real database, real security features, logins, and all of this was built in one single chat with Claude. I didn't open a code editor, write any lines of code myself, or outsource this overseas to an expensive team that had to build this for me. This was all done in one Claude chat. And this tool is something I'm actively selling to my existing clients and audience. I didn't just build this for the sake of the video. I run a content agency and I needed a way for me to track the leads that I'm getting from my clients so they can see the leads that they're getting from our service and see that we're getting them an ROI. But until this weekend, I had no real way to solve this, so I went to Claude and asked for help. And I found a new way to connect Claude to a real app building software so everything could happen in Claude without leaving the platform or opening up any crazy code editor. I'll show you exactly what that is in a second and how you can connect that to Claude, because that is why building this was possible. So by the end of this video, you will see me go from a blank Claude chat to a fully sellable AI software tool. You'll also have the free prompt, tool, and roadmap so you can do the same thing. Let's dive into it. All right, so there's only a few things that you need to get an end product like what you saw. Now, the first thing is you're going to need Claude. I recommend the Pro plan, nothing crazy. So go ahead and get that open up in the desktop app. Next, we have the master prompt. This will be linked down below for completely free. This is customized to my use case, but you could take this and then run it through Claude and say, hey, this is a master prompt. I want to build XYZ thing with it. Please adapt this master prompt to match what I want. And then Claude will give you a master prompt of your own. I'm going to break this down in depth in a second here. The last thing you're going to need is Flute. It's completely free to start. You could add it to Claude by hitting this button. This is what's going to allow you to actually create the AI app within Claude itself. Or you could go to Claude, you could go to customize over here. You could look at your connectors and then you could just search for Flute. So if you search for Flute, it won't be connected for you, but you'll have the option to connect it. You'll connect it here, you'll log in. Again, it's free to start. And then that's pretty much it. So you're just using this platform through Claude, which is really effective because this handles the database, it handles security, login functionality, etc. Now to go over the master prompt really quickly, first of all, I wanted to call it lead tracker. And this is basically setting the fields or the database of the lead tracker. So behind the scenes, what do we need to capture? We need the name, email, the source, so where this leads actually came from. Again, the whole entire point is I want to give this to my clients so my clients could track their leads more efficiently. So it needs to basically be a CRM here. It needs to handle duplicates. So if the same person submits something twice, you need to be able to remove that. They have to have a public form to here, obviously a dashboard to visualize everything. And then these are the AI functionalities that is going to make this a sellable asset. So this is what makes it from just a dashboard to an AI SaaS or AI tool that I could sell to my existing audience. AI lead scoring, so it's going to rank the actual leads in priority of when we should actually reach out to them and who we should sell to first. And then the AI assistant that will basically be embedded in the dashboard to help us look at the entire set of data and say, hey, what lead should I follow up with today? What's high priority, low priority? Help me. Sort of like an AI widget to help us out here. And then I have a style. I'm not really big on the style, but brand colors are usually orange, so you could play with that if you wanted. So that is the master prompt. Again, you could give this to Claude and say, take this master prompt and adapt it for my own use case, and then go from there. All right, so we have the master prompt, we have Claude, and we have Flute, which allows us to build the AI apps in Claude. Now, the next step is to actually build this live. All right, so what I'm going to actually do to build this live is I'm going to just simply copy this. Again, this will be for completely free down below if you want to go ahead and grab it. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go to Claude and say, using Flute, build me a lead tracker, blah, blah, blah. This is the system prompt. You can sort of see that it's chugging away at this right now. And this takes a good amount of time. This is like 10 minutes in and it's actually building everything. In a world where we want stuff so quickly, especially with AI, I actually trust something that takes a little bit longer to handle all the details, the security, the database, the backend, the logins, instead of just spitting out something on screen. And something cool that happens is as it goes through, it will give you a live link. So Flute is connected to Claude, but it will give you a live link to look at the progress being built in your browser. So while it's building in Claude, you could open a live preview in your actual browser so you could see in parallel what is happening. So you can see Claude building here and what's populating here. So this was blank to begin with. It built in the login page and now it's showing here. See what's working, see what's building, go back and forth. So it's really cool the way that they're integrated, and that is the new MCP functionality that makes this possible. Now you can see what it's doing here. It's running through. It's going through everything. It's first starting with the database. So it's taking this here and starting to build that here. Again, it's actually handling everything in the backend as well. So a proper database. So you can see in here, it's taking in the AI score analysis. So this is one of the AI functionalities that is being built out is the AI lead scoring. So it's taking care of that there. The backend foundation is now in place, which is great. It's building out endpoints to make sure that, again, these AI capabilities are possible. These are things that I do not know how to do. So it's all being handled for me, which is pretty awesome. It's still going through. Sometimes it'll ask me to share my screen screen. So essentially I would hit always allow, give it permission, and then it could see my actual screen. So it could see this right here with Claude. So it could make adjustments to the UI and whatever needs to happen, which is pretty cool. And then they got to a point like about 10 minutes in, like I said, where it's done pretty much everything. And it was actually working so much that Claude hit a limit in terms of the length of message. Just hit continue and it'll continue in the same chat, which is fine. And as this builds, just make sure you are paying attention to it because this will come up multiple times. I do always allow, so it could always do that certain task, but this will pop up multiple times because it needs access and always needs to be allowed to do certain things. And there's a bunch of different things it needs access to do. So don't just hit run and walk away because most likely you'll have to approve permissions unless you want to run it with no permissions, which is your choice. So as you can see, it's still building here. And while Claude is doing that, it's updating in this chat. I just want to get your bearings familiar here so you could see where everything is. So one, you could see it in full screen. This is obviously the login. I could go to the dashboard. So see now Claude or Flute is asking to see my browser. So if I allow here, now Claude could actually see my browser. This will populate in a second here. It'll take a screenshot to sort of track progress, which is super interesting. So this is literally my live browser. Claude can now see that. And obviously I have to give it permission so everything is secure, but it's something that you can do. It's basically saying, okay, cool, this is rendering exactly like I wanted to. I needed your permission to check your screen to make sure everything is good. So I love the double checks here and the fact that it is validating what it's doing as it goes. Instead of it doing all at once and then me having to go back with a lot of these other platforms, sometimes vibe coding that happens, they do a bunch of work, but it's all wrong. I have to go back and correct each step. This goes step by step, layer by layer, and fixes as we go, which I think is pretty great. But go back to where everything is here. You can see that this is home, so you could toggle in between the different pages. So this is the login for our clients. This is the actual dashboard, so they could see the leads, you can see the sources of the leads. So we do social media for our clients, so they could see, all right, our TikTok is doing this, our YouTube is doing this, etc. The pipeline, capture form, and then this is that AI assistant, which will probably be one of the more useful things. So instead of them like looking through everything, they say, you know, how much revenue is in the pipeline in the last 5 days from TikTok, and then they could run that, which is super useful. So that's one of the bigger functionalities that this is able to do. This is not just a dashboard; it's an AI-enabled tool that people can use. Now, obviously, this is all fictitious data. I'll make an update in the future if you guys want to subscribe for how this actually sells and how I go about pushing this out to my market and my current clients. But this is sort of how you could look at everything. Now, while this is still building, I usually let it do everything itself. So I'm going to respond to this in a second. But you could essentially go back to checkpoints. So as it builds, it sort of checkpoints itself out. So you can always return to a place. You could select stuff and you could also annotate stuff. So for example, if you wanted to annotate a certain portion of this, like let's say I don't like the font of this, you could circle it and then you could change it that way, which is pretty cool. All right, you could add text, obviously, and you could see it in the mobile form as well. So pretty good. I like the chat bot at the bottom. Everything looks pretty solid there. And then getting into the more technical stuff and the actual value that the service provides is the backend. So you can see all of the data in the backend here, and this is a proper database. So this is the actual database that's behind the scenes. It's only getting visualized here in the dashboard, and that is the important stuff. You want to make sure everything is being saved, stored, etc. So AI could operate on top of the database. All right, so now let's see what it says here. All right, so it says everything is good. I gave it 7 leads as sample data, which I saw. The dashboard has no login yet. Okay, so this is what's going to make it a true platform. So if I go back to home, it says it could add email auth as the next step. So whenever you're signing into a platform, you usually have to authenticate your email. Usually you log in via Gmail, like a lot of people do. It could add that step for me. So that is, again, what's taking it from a vibe coded platform to a live SaaS solution. It will do this for you and it'll handle everything step by step, which is pretty awesome. Go ahead and add 15 more sample leads with various pieces of data just so I could test everything out and then publish it live after that. So I'm going to go ahead and let it do this. I just want to see it all filled out essentially. So I'm going to also test this. I'm going to do what's my total pipeline value from Instagram and TikTok. So it's going to look at this data and then give me a response here. $900. Devin Brooks, Instagram. Yep, makes sense. And TikTok is Patel. Okay, cool. So that was pretty quick and it was accurate, which looks good. And then also I want to make sure that this other AI feature is being taken into account here, which I don't see right now. So there should be a scoring on the side of it. So is there AI scoring that prioritizes the leads? Because that is something that we'll have to add if we haven't done that already. But otherwise, everything is taken care of so far, which is awesome. Yes, every lead has a hot score. Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, I guess I'm blind. So that is done as well. So these are the hot scores, and I could probably be able to filter by the hot scores. That's something we're going to want to do. So I could click into it as well. Great. That looks good. I'm going to make one change here that I just thought of right now. Please add a toggle in which I can prioritize by the score: hot, medium, cold, and warm. So there's no medium, so hot, cold, and warm. Amazing. And again, this is really cool because I'm doing this all through Claude. Even though this is the live platform, platform. I haven't done any work in here except for look at it. Like this is where it is all happening. So I could actually publish my domain name right here, which is pretty great. So I'm going to see how it handles making this change, and then we will go about actually publishing this. All right, so it said that is a good idea. Let me add the UI, and then it's asking for a screenshot again. So it's validating how this looks. It looks really good. So prioritize by hot, warm, and cold. It's really that easy. Added the other test data as well. So I could ask one more question. What are the hot leads that came from YouTube? What's the pipeline value of them? All right, let's see this. I should be looking at the hot leads from YouTube specifically and the value of them. 5,300 potential MRR from YouTube. All right, cool. Now, this is pretty much done. Like you could see how simple that really was. Let's publish this. Oh, I could publish right here. So I'm gonna say lead tracker track AI v1 publish. Now this is something that my clients that I'm selling to could access. It's publishing right here. You can see it in the top right corner right here. Now they'll have an actual URL where they could go to and they could make all of this happen. All right, and there you have it. Your app is live at this URL. I can add a custom domain, obviously updated public version. So if I change more stuff, I can update it here. Pretty classic stuff there. And there you go. So everything is done. It's gonna say Shaz. All right, gonna enter some fake data here. I just submitted this form and you could see in the back end, boom, there is that lead actually tracked, which is amazing. All right, so that is working. Again, this is a live app or a live URL, so I could send people this, or I could link it, or have my clients link their own versions of it in their social media. They fill out this form, it gets piped into their own database, and now they could see all of their deal value from social media. This helps me give a downsell to my audience, retain my audience for more, so increase the LTV of what I'm doing, and actually provide a valuable service without coding anything, taking 6 months of back and forth with an overseas agency to do anything. It's a quick, simple solution that actually works. So that is how I use Claude in combination with Flute to build an actual AI SaaS tool that is sellable and that is working. And I can deploy it. It has a strong backend. It has a login functionality and email authentication. Everything is there. And if you want to know how to actually grow this and sell it, I'm going to leave all of my other marketing playlists right here, but I actually go about cold outbound content and sell the AI tools that you build with something just like this. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe so all my other videos every other day land on your feed. I'll leave all of the information, the free prompts, the actual tools to get started for free down below in the description if you want to go ahead and check that out. Otherwise, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please play around with this stuff. It's super powerful. I will see you in the next video right here, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.